I think we're entering the darkest hour for Black America ever. I do think that what we're about to enter is going to be worse than slavery. And the big reason for that is because people aren't even aware of how unfree they are at this point in time. We are actually all more fucked than Assata Shakur. Like, all of us. And like I said, I've been on a watch list since I was 13. I'm not gonna go into why that is, but I've been on a domestic terrorist watch list since I was a child. Assata Shakur was also on was labeled a domestic terrorist, and Trump just signed an executive order to basically label all of us on this app as domestic terrorists. But what's even worse is that right now we actually have less organization, less movement, less capacity, less commitment than at any point in American history. Because people think, well, as long as I get money, I'll be fine. They're gonna run up in your fucking job, sis. They're coming in your job to snatch you. And I don't talk about this a lot, because being a Black woman with foresight, much in the same vein as Octavia Butler, I've been telling y'all this since 2020. Like 2019, I was like, oh, pattern recognized. Handmaid's Tale is actually not as bad as it's going to be. Because Handmaid's Tale is actually just what it's going to be for, like, wealthy white women. Do you guys realize the rest of us are going to them camps? And the craziest thing is y'all are like, they're not going to get me, they're not going to get me. They're going to get you. You don't even know how to survive in the woods. How the fuck do you think Assata got to Cuba? Like, how do you think she physically moved her body to Cuba? How do you, like... You don't have not a singular survival skill. You're not a part of a single organization. You don't have no friends. You are a worker drone. You're a worker drone in a country that has decided that you are domestic terrorists. You can't put your head down any further and avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother's eye. His eye is on us all, you guys. And it's frustrating. Here's what I'm going to say. I've been feeling called to leave social media. I no longer see any value that this app has. And I encourage all of you to leave social media and go outside. That, I think social media is actually hindering us from movement building, from actual organizing. It is taking too much of our time. It is distracting us. It is distracting because even organizers think they need to be on social media to reach people. No, that is not what the purpose of this app is. And it's not going to work in that sense. I think all of us need to wake up. It's time to like snap back to reality. And get serious. Because once you tip the scale, which has been tipped, but once you tip the scale from, if I do everything right, if I assume a submissive position, if I do not resist, and if I go along to get along, I will still be captured by the state, you now have no choice but you have to now resist. I'm not going to say too much, but that is where we are. Or be content to die in the camp. Those are the only two options. And I think it's really hard for humans to like process like long-term situation, reality. But like if you're not leaving the country, if you don't have at least $75,000 in cash right now, you cannot get out this motherfucker. I'm telling you right.
This is my second attempt at this video. There are helicopters everywhere. My head hurt. There are helicopters everywhere, and I have managed to dodge getting snatched twice today. So I picked my kids up early and I came home. I'm saying this because it seems like the people around me who aren't in this situation aren't taking this serious, and then there are people who live here who aren't taking this seriously. But there's been a helicopter hovering over my building for the past week or so. At first I thought it was because somebody got murdered, but today I seen another one, but the helicopter looked different. It was like the National Guard, or it just wasn't a regular helicopter. I'm afraid because I am out here by myself. They're pulling children out of school. They're throwing tear gas. They're snatching families up. If I go missing, I am not suicidal. I am not trying to run away from my family. And I have not gone into hiding. We have been advised to stay in the house. My family is in need of food. I was gonna go to the pantry tomorrow. I'm strongly debating that. I don't know if y'all hear that. That's another helicopter. They're coming. They have been hovering over my building. They are coming. It is predominantly Black and Hispanic in the building and in the community that I stay in. I don't give a fuck about a bitch disparaging my name on the internet. I don't. I don't. If you are in the area and you are a parent and if you want to organize, please inbox me. I will be checking my inbox. I don't know what to do, but that doesn't mean that I have to do nothing. I'm not a pussy asshole.
Hi guys, it's your baby girl Baby Precious. This video is called Eyes Run a Black Community in Chicago. So let's break this down because it's very serious. Why ICE targeting Black communities? Those are Africans' neighborhood, family workers, people trying to live in peace. When ICE came in, it does not just arrest people, it spread fear. Kids stop going to school, parents hide, the whole community feel lost. This is not safety, this is control, and it is very, very wrong. Trust me. We should be building jobs, not tearing it down with trucks. The government should protect its people, not to make them feel afraid to open their doors. So guys, if this video shows you the truth, then chicken needs justice. So guys, I keep people up.
They're using immigration as a pretext, exactly the fuck like I said they would do. This is why we said citizenship is on the ballot. They chose 10 p.m. because that is where you have maximum occupancy in a residential building to come in there, no fucking warrants. So the due process shit is out the window. You're supposed to have probable cause to enter a person's home. All that shit's out the window now. This is an attack on our communities, on Black people. To separate children, to zip tie children, that is barbaric behavior. And this is why you can't only care about citizens and, well, that's how they treat immigrants, because they don't give a fuck about your citizenship
or your humanity. So they are traumatizing people, they are terrorizing people, and they are detaining people overnight. This is a school night. You have children separated from their parents. And like I said, with these checkpoints, remember we talked about the checkpoints in DC and they're supposedly ICE checkpoints. But remember how I also pointed out that if they are running background checks on you, they're not just checking, oh, okay, you got your real ID, you a citizen, oh, you got your birth certificate, okay. No, they are hunting for reasons to incarcerate Black people. They don't see you as a person they have to do their due diligence for. When they make a mistake, they do not take any kind of efforts to rectify it. The property damage that they did, they're not going to come and say, oh, okay, well, here's a check. Here you go. No, y'all assed out. So they destroy the property. They take things. That's now left for these residents to be burdened with. These are people's homes at 10 o'clock at night. What kind of urgent law enforcement business is needed for an entire building? This is like when Nino Brown took over the motherfucking projects. I forget the name of it, but the building.
In New Jack City.
In New Jack City shit. But this is real life. This is real fucking life. And there is unchecked power. With that being said, I said in 2023, when I was on Chicago radio, and I mentioned this earlier this week,
Yes,
the
you did.
thing I heard on the radio, trans immigrant. We have to be careful about taking political action that we think is punishing the they, them, the others, because you should always know that shit is going to boomerang right the fuck back on us.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released.
Back in June, I told y'all this would happen. You're about to see Haitians, our people, get pulled from their moms, from their homes, from workplaces, from immigration meetings. You're going to see the same thing that you just saw happen to brown people, you're about to see happen to Black people. Let me tell you what happens next now. You're going to see more headlines like this. And then you will start seeing Black U.S. citizens being mistaken for Haitians and being deported. It's going to happen. I told y'all came from me in my comments. You told me, oh, we're the 92%. Haitians don't like us anyway. And everyone who said that, I said, you think that the Border Patrol give a fuck if you Haitian or not? You think they can tell the difference? We all Black to them. They don't care.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
And maybe now you'll listen to me, because this is what needs to happen next to stop this from happening, because if we don't make the correct moves, this will continue to happen in poor Black neighborhoods. Learn who your state representatives are. Learn who the mayor of your city is. Learn your state attorney general. Find out what they support. Do they lean left or right? Find out their contact information. You need to be emailing and calling them saying, hey, what happened here? Do you support that? Because if you do, we're going to make sure with every inch of power that we have that you never get reelected again. That's the only way that these people are going to listen. We hold the power. We cannot just sit down and wait and say we voted every 4 years and not 92% is enough. You don't know who your state representatives are. You don't know anything, and you just know you showed up every 4 years. And y'all came for me for that, and look what's happening now. And I'm so pissed off because I am telling you, it's going to keep happening if you don't do this. I'm in the blue state. I know who my attorney general is. I know who my state representatives are. I know who my governor is. And I know ain't no damn way they letting that happen in the state of New Mexico. But in your state, you need to find out.
We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
The FBI did confirm this morning that they did help the U.S. Border Patrol carry out a targeted immigration enforcement operation in this area, and they say they have been supporting these efforts at the direction of the U.S. Attorney General.
So once again, I am proven correctly. You cannot pick and choose when to fight white supremacy, because when you do, it opens the door up for the next man.
Now ICE is targeting us. They jumped a Black man in Tennessee. They're arresting Black men in Chicago. And they had our children zip tied. And if I'm not mistaken, one of my mutuals talked about how they said they were going to let them go if they didn't have a warrant for their arrest. But why are children being zip tied? Black people, I need y'all to hear me and hear me good. These people want to see your blood. They are going to bring 1,600 to 2025. They already had men out here that don't look like us dressing up as ICE agents, going and kidnapping some of the Hispanic women and essaying them. What do you think they're going to do to you? What we going to do? Because fighting back is not an option. That's going to end up bad if we go up against the military. There's a reason, black people, they made sure you would not have a military. So when they get back on their transatlantic slave trade energy, you can't fight them back. This is not going to end well.
And ICE attacked a black neighborhood last night. Black apartment complex. Detained pretty much everyone. Destroyed those people's homes. Destroyed. I just got finished looking at videos and they took everything out of the refrigerator, threw it on the floor, broke windows, destroyed fences, destroyed doors, destroyed walls, damaged all of their personal belongings, just threw everything out. So why is ICE in a black neighborhood looking for immigrants, I guess? They have moved on to getting a response from black people because, like I said earlier, we don't have that many immigrants that they should be doing a big recruiting effort. We don't need all of these holding facilities and these jails. We don't have that many immigrants.
This country is slowly but surely becoming a dictatorship. So ICE has recently raided the South Shore apartments in Chicago. Most who were detained didn't even do anything criminal, just basically living their lives and waking up to a military-style raid in the middle of the night. I mean, you have kids in their underwear with zip ties on. I can't imagine anything more horrifying. Families with kids being horrified out of their sleep. Their houses are stormed through. Their safety is threatened. Neighbors are terrified and probably still shooken up. I know I would. It's imperative that we not ignore this and realize the importance of coming together as a community. Because even in the scariest moments, communities are strongest when we stick together. Please stay safe. Please stay informed.
I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. They just treated us like we were nothing.
ICE is now going after and detaining all black people in Chicago, including black Americans, regardless of your citizenship status and regardless if you are native to this country.
Lives in this building, and she said she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She said she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all.
It appears that ICE agents have been targeting black neighborhoods and specifically apartment complexes where they know majority of the population of those buildings are black Americans who are native to America, ergo American citizens. This was a threat that was told to us by Kamala Harris and many people that he would send troops after citizens and that he definitely would do his darndest to go after Latinos first, Asians second, and then us. Stay vigilant, stay safe, because who knows what's going to happen. The Governor Pritzker is fighting against Trump now, pushing back on Trump sending in the army and the military, which he's still planning to do. But ICE agents have ramped up their efforts in Chicago over the last couple of days because of this, including now black people.
So ICE is now detaining African-American U.S. citizens in Chicago. Apparently, just the other night, ICE went ahead and went to an apartment complex in Chicago and took all the black people out of the apartment complex, as well as their kids, in the cold Chicago night of October and with handcuffed and did not allow parents to put clothes on their children. Their children are just outside there cold with no shirt, no pants, just cold. And then they're just supposed to get sent back home right after hours of being detained and then be okay with it and go home untraumatized. Yeah, so that's currently the case right now in Chicago. ICE is in fact targeting black people. This is very important to keep in mind of because just not too long ago, the Supreme Court interimly decided that ICE can continue to engage in racially profiling people, even though there's a case going against that right now in the court, so they could continue business as usual with racial profiling. Now, although they could have always racially profiled, this decision is important because it strengthens people's desire to engage in the racial profiling in order to do their deportation. ICE is going to more places. Memphis is next. Memphis is going to be happening in the next coming weeks. So everybody needs to know how to protect themselves. Nobody who is not white is safe from ICE. You will be thought of as a threat. That is why they detained them folks when that white lady called on them in Georgia. Be mindful of how we're interacting with these government agencies. Be careful. Know what's going on in your area. Know how to interact with ICE. Know your right. Record. Narrate the interaction. Do what you can, but just do not let them take control of the narrative. They will try and spin it each and every way to seem as if they are not doing the things that they are doing. When people come back from these ICE interactions, they come back traumatized. There isn't a single person who doesn't. So we have to continue to make sure that that's known and that this agency is not just engaging in the deportation of harmful, scary criminals. They're actually ripping apart families and traumatizing children.
So this video, ICE raid a black community in Chicago, is not just about one raid, it's about power being used in the wrong way. It shows how the system treats some people like they don't belong even in their own country. Nice. This is not a show, it's a warning. It tells us that justice in America is not required. That fear is being used as a weapon. The meaning is clear. When a community is real, the whole city releases trust. So guys, and don't forget when you misuse this in my video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. In the comment section, tell me what these people are doing to Chicago is right or not right. So guys, I will keep you updated.